Hello, have you ever seen an Dendrobium nobile hybrid blooming in the middle of summer? Naturally, without any external inducing, like I don't have an AC, I'm not putting it inside the fridge or any weird stuff. It's blooming naturally. How is that even possible? So we're going to explore temperature today and different environments, talk to you about my experience with my orchids and what happened where I live. If that's something that you are interested about, stay here, stick to me, and let's explore, let's dive in this topic, shall we? Some plants like orchids, they're induced to bloom by temperature and light. There are some that this doesn't affect them so much. Depends where they are from, the environment where they come from. So there are some orchids, they are photosensitive, which means that the duration of the light will affect their blooming. And that there are others that it won't affect their blooming, but temperature, for example, will definitely impact the way these plants are blooming and when they will bloom. One good example that I'll give here is Phalaenopsis. As we know, most hybrids that we buy in supermarkets, if you don't know that, that's how they are always blooming for you, because they are induced artificially. Usually we need to have a drop down in temperature to make this Phalaenopsis bloom. That's how big growers, nurseries, they will induce Phalaenopsis to bloom all year round. They will drop down the temperature in the growing room and these plants will start spiking and blooming. And that's how you probably will induce your plants to bloom at your home as well. If you have a winter time or a period of time where the temperature will drop a little bit, that's when these plants will understand that's their time to start spiking and blooming. Because where this comes from in nature, the parents, not the hybrids, where the parents are from in nature, they usually have a set period of time to bloom. That's when the temperature drops, not when it becomes darker. For example, I live in London, I live in the UK, and I have a darker period of time between fall and winter time. And then the days start to getting longer and longer and longer during spring and summertime. Your Phalaenopsis won't understand that exactly. They don't respond to light as they respond to temperature. But when the temperature drops, in my case, between September and October, it starts dropping, your plant will understand that's the time for it to start pushing new flower spikes. I usually let them bloom. I have my blooms in January, February. After that, I'll start cutting the flower spikes to wait for the new season to come. It's the same thing with my Dendrobium nobile hybrids. They also need a drop down in temperature to be able to rebloom. In this case, the drop down has to be a little bit more extreme. So I need to provide them with a very, very cool temperature and they will be able to push flower spikes. So I will leave them in a place without any heating. It's more extreme. It's a little bit more difficult to rebloom these guys than reblooming Phalaenopsis, but I'm not going to come to that specific sense today. I'm going to talk only about the drop down in temperature because I have something to tell you. As you can see, this one is blooming now. We don't have an extreme drop down in temperature and it's full of flowers. This is a hybrid, it's a complex hybrid. So it doesn't require exactly the same conditions as a proper nobile. This probably has around 50% of nobile in its DNA, I don't know. It's a very mixed and complex hybrid. However, it does require the drop down in temperature to be able to bloom. But why it is blooming now? That's a very good question. I was pretty surprised to see all these yellow blooms now, since it's past their time to bloom. It's pushing, it has new growths. It has 2 new growths, they're almost fully mature. And I also have Phalaenopsis spiking, as I'm showing you now. And these are not a flower spike that are cut and rebranted. No, these are completely new flower spikes. And I have another one that I didn't film that is in my living room, so I have many Phalaenopsis spiking at the moment. And we are in the middle of summer here. We just started July now. So it's supposed to be the warmest, hottest month in the UK. So what is happening to my Phalaenopsis and to my nobile? The thing is, here in the UK, the temperature is very unstable. We don't have a hot summer and hot spring that will be hot during all these months, like non-stop. Sometimes we have chilly days, like we have cloudy days. If I leave the windows open, you will find the cold breeze that will come through my living room. And there are some days that are not as warm as others, so I can have a hot day here, but then suddenly the temperature will go to 19 degrees Celsius, like yesterday, which was 19 in the morning. So as you can see, it's not exactly warm period like you find in tropical countries or even other European countries. They are much warmer than here because here is like a big island. So we do have a very, very unstable, not only cool, but unstable weather. And I believe that unstable weather induces my plants to spike and bloom completely out of their season. Because if you imagine the metabolism of these plants, if the temperature drops for 1 week, they will understand that it's the time to spike again. So I do have, the nobile is the first time that it happened, but I will have like Phalaenopsis blooming probably all year round because of this unstable weather. So if you live in a place that's similar to mine, you understand what it means. However, if your weather is extremely hot all year round, don't have nobiles, don't have Phalaenopsis hybrids, maybe it's gonna be hard for you to rebloom that. And again, if you have a very set season, like it's hot in summer, warmer spring, then you have only a cool period of time during winter, your Phalaenopsis will probably only bloom for you once a year naturally. If you cut the flower spikes, you don't let them to rebranch. On the other side, my Polychilus, that are the summer blooming Phalaenopsis here in Europe, they are perfect for people that live in hot countries because they love the warm weather, they will bloom all the time. For me, my Barrina, for example, only blooms like for 1 to 2 months, and that's it, because then it gets too cold for it to produce flower spikes. So I want to explore this topic a little bit because I was thinking, why not? Maybe you live in a place that's similar to mine, and that would answer some of your questions. Remember that these plants, they only understand when the temperature is fluctuating. So if you don't have a fluctuation in temperature, if you don't have proper winters and summers, that affects enormously how you can grow your plants. And if you really, really want to have orchids, look for the place where you live, look for your weather. I'm sure you'll find orchids that are appropriate for your home conditions, that you don't need to create or recreate a whole new system. There are so many species and hybrids out there that are available and they are cheap. That's the beauty of orchids. They are everywhere. And I hope you find one that suits your environment. And soon I'm going to be showing you more Phalaenopsis flowers. Why not? Because they will be spiking all over again and blooming all over again. That's what I want to tell you today. I hope you enjoyed this short video and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.